aren't sure exactly whether they believe. Some things I've read about Native Americans seems as though they believe in reincarnation, and other times I'm not so sure. I think that, you know, they know that people go into the spirit world, but as I say, I know that they used to do things to some of the soldiers and to other tribe members so that they would have, you know, be different in their next lifetime.
Okay.
So
okay. Now, do they believe that if they were bad in this life, they've got to come back and do it again in, say, another personage or an animal?
I'm not sure what they believe, to be honest.
Okay. Hey,
but I do know that you don't come back as an animal because, you know, I talk enough to the spirit world to be able to know those sort of things.
Okay. Well, I guess that knocks out the whole Hindu religion because they believe you can come back as a cow. But well, yeah, man, you know, that's why you got people starving in Calcutta with cows walking around with bells around because it's like their auntie. Hey,
yeah, I've heard they're like that with rats.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm saying, you know, hey, man, there goes a steak, but no, not with them, unless they're cannibals. But listen, do you know what a familiar spirit is?
What do you mean, a familiar spirit?
Well, you hear that term every now and again. I maybe it's a biblical term. I'm not sure, but I guess it's maybe a spirit that masquerades as maybe a person that you're familiar with, but there's really a demon. Maybe that's what it.
Okay. No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay. So you've had experiences that you believe that you were actually Crazy Horse, and from that personage, do you feel like there was something left undone from his time?
Yes.
Oh, what was that?
I believe, and I'm strongly in the fact that I believe that Crazy Horse felt that he'd let his people down, that he hadn't done all that he could to try and help them keep what was theirs. And one of the regressions I did one night not long ago, about 12 months ago, I went back to when Crazy Horse died, and the spirit just soared all over the lands. He was very sad, going back over the lands that they believed that they could go back to because they had been lied to by the whites. And it was a feeling of, like, when you die, you're supposed to feel as though, you know, your soul, when it leaves, it's supposed to be happy and feel that your life is finished. But I felt that it wasn't finished.
Yeah.
And I know by talking with some of the spirits that shared that life with me, that in the spirit world, I felt as though I needed to come back and release certain things. I'm not sure exactly to what degree that is. I know that by being able to come back in this life to these lands and drive around in them, that it's helping me release, that my soul is so happy over here that I feel this life I will finish what Crazy Horse felt he hadn't finished in that lifetime.
Well, I'm glad for you that in that sense you are feeling a sense of purpose and direction, and I know a lot of people struggle with that. So again, as I said earlier, you know, I feel like whether or not it is in other people's minds correct, but that's up for debate. But you are fulfilling and walking into a spiritual journey, and you know, I'm not to judge other than to suggest from, you know, as I get information from you as to whether or not, you know, and everyone has to make the decision as to whether or not you're talking to is you know, the actual spirits of the Indians that are still here, and perhaps they are good, perhaps they are not. But listen, we have this question. We have this question here, and this is kind of later in the news here. The Lakota Sioux, I think, are trying to declare independence from the U.S. You know anything about that?
I have read about it in the newspaper. Yeah.
So you think we're going to have another Wounded Knee?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, if there are, I'm going to...
The Lakota have got the resources, to be honest, to have another Wounded Knee.
Yeah, because the white man took all the resources, right?
I feel that part of my journey is to help the Lakota. I don't know how I can do that. That hasn't been like there hasn't been any leads in that direction so far. But I believe that, you know, that is what Crazy Horse would want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, where that direction goes, I'm not sure at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that, you know, it's something that I personally would love to be able to do.
Yeah.
How it can be done, I'm not sure.
Okay. Now let's see. You said earlier that your name is Jack. That's
my spirit name, yes.
Your spirit name. Okay. So you sort of have a double man thing going on there. Jack, who's your spirit name, and then Crazy Horse, the Indian name. I mean, are you not a woman?
No, I'm not. Believe it or not. I mean, I am in this lifetime, but I am a male spirit.
Well, doesn't that sort of bother you?
Sorry?
Doesn't that bother you?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Everybody has to live some lives. You live some lives as a male, some lives as a female. It just depends what you have to learn in that lifetime and what suits that lifetime the best.
Okay, well, now, you said what you have to learn in the lifetime, but I asked earlier if you missed it in this life, do you come back? And I thought you said no.
Sorry, if you missed what you had to learn.
Yeah. So you're saying that there is reincarnation?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And how many times you got to come back? However long it takes?
Oh, thousands of times, yeah.
Okay. And at the end of the thousands...
Unless you're really smart and can do it all just in a few lifetimes. But basically it's impossible to learn everything in one lifetime. So
then you, as a Crazy Horse, you didn't learn what you should have in your life?
I think I would have learned some things. I probably learned a lot of things, but I don't think at the end of Crazy Horse's life that he felt as though he had done everything that he needed to do.
Okay. And what...
I think he was... Sorry?
Yeah. What was your horse's name?
My horse's name?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh. I mean, people are usually pretty close to their animals. I thought you might.
Yeah, I don't know if Crazy Horse's horse had a name.
Oh, okay.
I know what it looked like, but I don't know if it had a name.
Okay.
I don't know if the Indians named their horses or not.
Did Crazy Horse have a wife?
Yes.
What was her name?
Black Shawl.
Did they have any children?
A little girl, and I found where she was buried, and it was the most emotional time of my whole life.
Okay, and so now you found this other person or other people that were on similar journeys, and you were suggesting Carla and Jewel that they were also on a sort of a spiritual hunt to find their ancestors or who they were?
I think that they have a lot of releasing to do, which they both have done. They've both had very emotional releasing. And Carla, she enjoys spending time on the reservations and all that sort of thing because most of her lifetime was around there. Although, as a younger person, she was round in Montana a lot, and we did find an area together in Montana where we just both sat for ages, and that was all verified to me by the spirit world that it was the area that we last camped in before we went to the Red Cloud Agency. Is
the spirit world the same as the heavenly world, or is that one tier above?
The spirit world, well, the heavenly world, you mean spirits that have actually reached that higher level and angels and things? It's possibly a different place. One